All right, so here we are with the Misfits retheme game. It's originally from Williams High Speed. He modified it quite a bit. I did all the wiring and all the code for it. So this is Omar from the Batcave Pinball on YouTube. He streams a lot of the Florida tournaments. All right, what are we doing here, right? We got Misfits. It's a getaway, right?
Yeah, high speed.
High speed.
I think getaway was the second one.
All right.
So this machine was given to me by Steven Jones and Bobby Dothit. It was a high speed. It was in flooded condition. What I do, I took everything off from here up, bonded it all, painted it black. The case is a coffin case. Adam, I don't know if Adam's seen the coffin case on it yet. So I've rethemed it to be a Misfits music pin. We got 14 Misfits songs, 3 Sam Hain multi-balls, and Adam's taking it with him today to finish up the code.
So how long have you had it like this?
I got the machine. When did they leave, Sierra? You said in November?
August or September.
August? So beginning of September, Steve Jones gave me the machine. I bring it home. There's a lot of oil-based paint on it, so that stuff takes a long time to dry. I probably worked on it really hard for a week, and then I got it to the mosh pit here. I don't know if you can see the mosh pit. And then I had some trouble figuring out what I was going to do, so it kind of sat.
Okay.
It sat
So
there.
not very long, because I've met guys that they have
Not
a game,
very long.
They have a game for a year, and they're like, I tried fast pinball, mission pinball framework, and then they're like, I gave up.
Yeah.
And now I'm switching to your stuff.
No, that's not Omar.
So you could have put other boards in here. You went with me because one, I'm probably local.
Yep.
Two,
I want you to succeed.
Punk rock boy.
Yep. Two, he plays guitar. I play guitar. I want him to succeed.
I want to do no effects game maybe or something, or some other kind of mixture, Punkorama something maybe.
Yeah, well,
Pennywise
Bendo
and
just
stuff.
left. He's in the state finals here.
Yeah.
At where the hell are we?
Pinball Lounge.
A pinball lounge. Yeah, so he's got a punk rock machine. He wants to do a pop bumper on a stick. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. People got ideas. Adam Gray wants to make a Prince EM. But before we do any of that stuff, I know you guys want to see the proof of concept. You want to see.
So I'm gonna drag you over here. We're gonna put this down. I'm gonna show you the wire harness that I have.
All right.
Because it's already done. So a 1-minute recap on everything I've been doing. So for 7 years, I've been trying to start a pinball company. This is my internal manufacturing process. What you just saw is me building a simple game and turning it into a physical game. My software tracks all the manufacturing data, so you get all the cutouts for all the holes, inserts, everything for all the slingshots and flipper mechs. Also, if you draw wireforms in it, it knows how to export them and make an actual wireform. It does all the wiring underneath the hood. It's a full-on pinball manufacturing setup. So I want to be mass producing games at some point. Here was a demonstration of the Metallica game. So this is a real game that exists, has some complex code in it. We recreated it, programmed the whole thing in my drag and drop interface, did all this in less than 24 hours. Had the game fully up and running, all the movies, all the modes, everything. And this could be cut out and assembled right into a real game. So first up, before I had this game, he gave me a bunch of reference photos of the machine. This helped me to recreate it virtually so that I could do all the programming. It helps to know where all the switches are, physically to see them, to be able to write the code for, hey, this is the left target switch, the right target switch. Also helps me do the wiring. So here's just a time lapse of me going through, using his photos as a reference, going in Pinball Designer, just laying out the whole thing. This also tracks all the data, so I know every time I add a scoop, it adds a coil for it, so you can name the coils and you can tell them to trigger on and off in the code. So you need flippers and different things so that it auto configures pretty much the whole game. The whole physical game is configured from this. So here we are under the hood. Again, my intent was to give him a wire harness and be off, but I had to do a lot more coding for him. But initially, with that whole layout, I can go under the hood, place my circuit boards, and get all the wiring and manufacturing data here. So these wires, I know all the lengths of them. I can basically pre-make the wire harness, which you see here. So I'm just kind of visually taping them to what I just saw in the 3D virtual world there. And you can see here's the harness being built. and I'm going to transfer it to the real game here. All right, so all this old wiring we're going to get rid of here, clip it off, because we're going to drop in this new harness that's already ready to go. Circuit board's all hooked up. All right, so there's the whole playfield, wire stripped. Took maybe 10 minutes to go through it. Left a few wires because the stage ones are above the playfield, and there's a couple switches above the playfield. All right, so Omar said he did a test on all the coils and made sure they're good, but we're just gonna go ahead and double check them. So that's 3.6 ohms, seems good to me. 91.5, let's see. 2.3. Okay, I gotta look up this game because 2.3 is way crazy. It's not necessarily burned out. I have to see if it has the ohms on there. Maybe this is a 24 volt game or something. So I'll take a look at that because that should not be 2.3 ohms if we're running 48 volts on this game. 5.2, it's reasonable. I thought it said it was a 50 volt game though. I'll have to take a look. I'm gonna check that coil and see if it says the ohm rating on it. Or I'll have to look it up online. That's another one that's 2.8. That's not a good reading for us. So that's 2.8, maybe if it was a, yeah, 48 volts, 2.8 was, that's like 24 amps, maybe 18 amps, something like that. That's a lot. And then here's it with the harness completely in there. So just dropped in. I'll just give you a rundown here. You can see all the switches are labeled so that when I plugged this in, I knew where everything was going. This has some old stuff. This is an older game, so can't really see it here. These rollover switches are not mechanical ones like you would see on modern games. It actually pushes a leaf switch down. So this is just a bent wire form right up there on the top. And as that comes down, it rotates and makes a switch contact on a leaf switch. So that's something new. You learn something new every day. And then over here, it's a two-stage trough. So what happens is the ball comes down here. There's a switch right down here. You might hear it click. So when the ball hits there, as long as that switch is on, this will trigger and kick balls up here, get them off the play field, and then they sit down in here, and there's 3 switches here to detect the balls in there. And then they get kicked up. This switch wasn't registering well, and I took it out, and even with the continuity test on a multimeter, was very sporadic, but you can see the contact there. See how that one's black? It's like it was burned up. And this one, you see, I actually took some sandpaper already, sanded off that. So we're gonna do a check here and make sure that that switch is good to go. We're gonna do a little operation on the spring. As you see, when you hit it down, pretty much gets stuck. Other flippers are good to go. They got good release. The spring, just no good. It's very weak. It's like super big. They're really weird springs on here, but we're gonna replace that with something else. I actually just took this spring, stretched it longer so it has more power spring back, and then snapped it at the end. So it's the same length as it was before, but it's more powerful of a spring. So we're gonna put it in and see how that works. The custom thing I did for this game is had this 3D printed part here, and then I took one of the switches he had. Let me show it from the side here. But this is for the spinning disc on top. So this rotates on a bearing. Oh, it's getting caught on here. I gotta tape that back down somewhere. But it spins around. Hits that switch, you can see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth, the very first flip on Misfits. There we go, double flips. So all we gotta do is go over here to coil settings, go to left flipper, and then we change that 20. I'm gonna change that to a 30. I'm gonna hit that real quick on the keyboard. Okay, entered it. And then all we gotta do is hit update hardware, updates. And we're gonna go back in here. I think that was the left flipper we said. So let's see if it's a little bit harder. Doesn't look like it was that much harder. All right, so here we are now. We're gonna be on 32 volts. This one's gonna be on time for 25 milliseconds. This one will be 30, so we'll check the difference here. Let me see if I can do this. Sounds pretty good. And here's the left flipper, is a lot harder. So that's pretty good. Do it one more time. That's pretty powerful. All right, so we're going to go through the game code real quick. We're going to go out in the physical game out in the garage here in a minute, but real quick, if we just buy a player in, hit tab, hit start. Okay, we're in a game. If you go to programming tab, you see all the sequences that are on running. So start mode is kind of the main one, and there's 7 different modes, and there's 2 variants for each. So right here on the side, this is kind of like the Iron Maiden game. So if I flip a ball through here, you'll see this light cycles through. It made it back to blue, so I'm on the blue mode, and if I start a mode, it's going to be the blue mode. So we're going to start the first blue mode. So you hit these switches 3 times, and then you see some new code sequences turned on, like this says blue right here is active, so it's the Eagles Dare and Hybrid song. So what we want to do is hit the left spinner now. Okay, hit enough times, then we got to get in the pit and then hit the stage. So the pit is normally a circular disc right here that we hit, but I don't have that in the tool, so I just put an invisible switch up here that I hit. So get the pit's complete, checkbox, and I hit the stage. So the first blue song is complete over here. We're still, the selector is blue, so we're going to start the second blue mode if we do this again. So there we go, and all the blue modes are just hit spinner. So now I just have to hit it more times. And again, on the left there, you see the blue is active. I'm going to hit the stage, and then right here when I hit the stage, it says complete. Now this, when I complete a full set of one song, one blue mode or any of the colors, I am active for a multi-ball. There's 3 multi-balls. So if you complete a sequence of all one color, you get a multi-ball. If you do 3 total sequences of colors, you get the second multi-ball. If you do all 14 songs, you get the wizard mode. So multi-ball is active. I'll tab here so you can see that screen. So it says multi-ball ready, hit the VUC. So the VUC is like the bouncer here. So if I grab a ball, drop it into the VUC. Let me get it in there. Drop it back here. So now it's in there. It says plunge the ball to start multi-ball. Okay. Because there's no auto plunger, I have to manually plunge it. So once I hit any switch on the playfield like that, it starts the multi-ball. It releases the other ball. Here you just got to hit the pop bumper. So check marks, and then you have to combo the right spinner into the captive ball. So if you just hit the captive ball, it doesn't do anything. You actually have to come all the way around here and then use the flipper to hit it. So let me try and do it real quick. So it'd be like come down here. All right, so here we are with the physical game. I'm going to go through the same thing I kind of just showed you before. So I'm going to tab out of here into the actual game mode here. I'm going to hit start. Kicks me in a ball. We're ready to go here. Again, as I hit the spinner over here, it toggles the lights that are on. So this is something I 3D printed for him because he wanted to know what modes were, and he told me he wanted some lights over here. So there's some arrows, and the skeletons you eventually complete both of them. I'm gonna put it back to blue real quick. Let me see, just want it to be on blue. There we go. So we're gonna start it just as we did in the virtual demonstration I just showed you. Get my camera back set up. Okay, cool. Ball and play. I don't have a plunger on my auto test rig here, so I'm going to sling it in. So again, I hit 3 of these switches. So we start the first blue mode over here. Hit the spinner so many times. Ball's up there kicking. So hit some more. Okay, now we're getting the pit. Remember, I had a switch over there. This is the actual pit. You have to hit it, spin around. So there you go. Getting the pit is done. Hit the stage. Some of those switches are a little bit hard. And then this is what the blue mode is complete, the first one, so you can see it over there. I'll do the same thing again now. So I hit this 3 times. Start the next mode. Hit the left spinner. Okay. Hit some more. I'm gonna rip it really hard there. So you gotta hit it a bunch of times. Then we go ahead and hit this. Hit's done. Hit the stage. There we go. So multi-ball is ready. I showed you this in the virtual demo. So real quick, the kickback, it says I gotta hit it 3 times. This is the kickback. Hit it once, twice, because I hit 2 switches. Hit it again. Now it says kickback is active, and that's actually over here, right? So the ball is gonna come down. hit the switch and then kick back, right? So it's a ball save, and I got to do it 5 times now. So it's incremental now. It's active. Do it again. Cool. I keep getting ball saves. Now it goes 7, and it goes 9 and 12. It keeps going up and up. Again, multi-ball is ready. So what we do, he's got to fix this because it's hard to get over there off the stage. I think he needs a wall there. And then when you get in here, multi-ball is ready. So I kicked my ball here. Remember, there's no auto plunge on here, so I got to manually plunge this. So once I plunge this and hit any playfield switch that's not one that doesn't give points, like the shooter lane here, I can toggle this. It doesn't do anything. Hit any of those switches, it's going to kick that ball in, and then I have 2 balls in play. So here we go. I have to plunge it. And my goal here is to hit the pop-up. So I hit it once. There we go. I got a check mark. And then what I'm supposed to do is, this is something I came up with, is that you got to hit it around here and then combo to the captive ball. So if you hit the captive ball, it doesn't do anything. You have to combo from that spinner and then into the captive ball. See if I can do it for you guys here. One more time, otherwise I'm going to do it by hand. Ball got stuck up there. Let's go. Make sure it spins. Now we're going to do it by hand. So it's basically detecting that you hit it around the loop. And there you go. So it's a little bit harder than just hitting the captive ball. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to play around a little bit here. So I'm on ball 1. Let it drain out. There's the auto trough, so I lost my ball. It didn't detect that I had the multi-ball. That's a bug, so I got to fix that. I'm going to keep this ball in my pocket here. So we're on ball 2. I'm going to plunge in. See what we can do here. So I'm switching the modes over here. So I'm on the white mode if I start. And I'm switching again. Let's go ahead and start mode. Try and get it one more time. Okay, hit it twice. Oh, just missed. There we go. So I'm on the red mode. Hit the captive ball. So captive ball. Now I gotta hit the pit and then hit the stage. So I hit the pit. Looks like it didn't turn quite enough. Ball got stuck. Now this. Alright, so I kind of just had a mess up. It drained the ball and didn't fix the code sequence, so I gotta take a look at the bug there, but if I hold the left flipper, start button, just like Stern, it'll kill a game. Here's my high score now, so I have a new high score. I'll go ahead and put something in. Whatever. Oops. There we go. So match screen, you should see my score get updated there. I should be the new grand champ here. TST, 31,000 points. There we go. Cool.